So now let's get down to the practical tools that you can use to help your own class to help the children in your own class who have either visual stress or who have phonological dyslexia. What are the practical tools? Well, the best tool that you can give parents is a package of work designed specifically for that child. Okay, so you basically look at, okay, what skills is the child missing and what skills do they need to have? And then you come up with a way that those skills could be taught by parents. It might be, say, a particular way of reading. It might be, say, a series of activities. It might be even down to writing a letter to grandmother every week or something. But basically come up with a package of work that are going to help that child who's struggling. And you'll find that the sort of parent who's interested in getting help for a child with visual stress or dyslexia is also the sort of parent who's going to follow through and do a package of work that you send home. It's a great idea to let the parent know ahead of time. Look, I'm putting together a package of work so you can do this at home. It's also a great idea to have the parent come in to the school and for you to spend 10 or 15 minutes walking the parent through how the package works and what activities they should do and stuff like that. If you just send the package home without explaining it in person, then it's unlikely to actually get done. But if you've explained the time in person and if the parent has put in the time to come and visit you at the school, then chances are that work is going to get done. And when that work is done, the child is going to learn and improve and you're going to have good results. And if the parents are willing to do that, why wouldn't you? You know, if it takes you half an hour to put together a package of work, but then it results in, 20 hours of time being done at home to help a child with some skills, that's well invested time. Another really good practical tool for helping children in your classroom if they have visual stress, and by that I mean scotopic sensitivity or Erlen syndrome. I'm not talking about phonological dyslexia here. Okay, this is for children with visual stress, is to actually encourage the parents to go and get the coloured glasses. Coloured glasses, if a colour does really solve it for a child, can make a world of difference. So especially if the child's young. If the child's young, they're more likely to wear them, and that's when they really need the colour glasses because they're just learning. Now, if you want parents to actually go and do that, you need to sit down with that parent and the child and show the parent how the child is reading words on white paper and show the parent how the child's reading the words on the coloured paper, and then get the child to explain to the parents what the difference is in terms of what they are seeing. Because a teacher explaining to a parent, here's what your child needs, a parent sort of takes that on board. But when a parent hears their own child saying, here's what I'm seeing, then the parent is emotionally impacted and far more likely to act. Now, another practical tool for your classroom, again, this is for visual stress, this is not phonological dyslexia, is to use coloured paper. Use it for every photocopied page that child does. Use it definitely for every assessment task that child does. If the child feels embarrassed about writing on coloured paper, then just make it your practice to print the whole class set on a coloured paper. We've all photocopied important documents onto coloured paper just so we won't lose them. I mean, hands up if you've done that. I have. It's very easy to justify using coloured paper for assessment tasks this way, but also if you can find a way to use coloured paper for your whole class most of the time, then why not do it? Another fantastic practical tool, now this is more of a tool to discuss with parents so that they'll buy this product and use it at home, is Dragon voice recognition software. And this is ideal for children with both visual stress or with phonological dyslexia. So Dragon naturally speaking software is the best tool that I know of or one of the best tools I know of for helping children who struggle with any literacy task. Now, I've been using this software myself for 2 years, not because I have phonological dyslexia or something. I use it myself because I want to be quick and fast with how I type. And I've been using it for 2 years. I use it every day, and it is especially useful for children who have phonological dyslexia. As in, if they're struggling with their spelling, if they're struggling to get their thoughts on paper, this tool does it for them. What they do is they talk, and then a headset microphone records their words, and their words are printed on the screen in front of them. It takes a lot of training to train Dragon software to do what you want it to do, maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of training. But then after you've trained the software, it recognizes the child's voice and it's fairly accurate with what they're saying. And it's just a fantastic way to help them get their thoughts on paper. I'd also recommend Dragon software, Dragon naturally speaking software, for children who have the more visual issues of Erlen syndrome, scotopic sensitivity, visual stress, whatever you want to call it. Because often those children, they've been behind for a long time, so they already have a tarnished, a negative attitude about writing. And as soon as they're asked to do homework, you can see the attitude come out. And for those kids, it is fun to use Dragon Naturally Speaking software. For those kids, it is quick and easy to create written work using that software. So even though it's more important for a child with phonological dyslexia because it helps them get their thoughts on paper, for a child with visual stress, it's also fantastic, if nothing else, just for the motivation. But I just can't recommend that product enough. What's important to keep in mind is that it's not a product that's useful for school, because a child is not going to sit there in the middle of your classroom dictating to a computer while all their friends are around them. That's just not going to happen. That is not, even if they did, it's not the sort of classroom environment you want to have. But for home, it's pretty hard to beat. It's fairly cheap as well. So just look it up on the net, Dragon software. Now, there are so many other tools out there for you to explore, but really it's about keeping it simple, because I don't want to create a giant list of tools for you to use and then suddenly I've doubled the length of this course. Just go and explore on the internet. You'll find so many different tools. The best tools and resources out there are the ones that teachers who you know and respect are already using. And I think probably it has to be said that the very best tool that a teacher has for helping a child with phonological dyslexia or with visual issues like visual stress, the best tool that you've got is actually your own imagination. Is to look at what the child is struggling with, what new skill they need that they currently don't have, and just to think of something creative for the child, because usually something that you've created from your own imagination is just going to have a massive impact. Yes, it's great to have colored glasses. Yes, it's great to have coloured transparent plastic for a child to read through. Yes, it's great to have all these things, but really nothing matches the creativity of a dedicated teacher. So good luck, have fun, and make sure you share your tools with others.